I talked to Adam Jones quite a bit, and last thing I knew, he was dealing with artwork. So, that is
that's good.
a good sign. So, if they're dealing with artwork, then it must be close.
When we write, every record, we'll do like 6, 7, 8 songs, which are all, 50 minutes long. But then we always have a little time left on the CD. And what we do is we do segues, we call them. And what the 4 of us might write one together, or we might individually bring one in. And they're always very experimental and weird and kind of help kind of carry the record off the seriousness of the song. You kind of just break away. Anyway, they're very fun.
I think we just kind of stockpile stuff, and then just cherry pick the best stuff, and trust it. Like use what you originally. I think your original feeling about it's probably a good one, because that's what people are going to hear. They're going to hear it for the first time too. So you kind of think about it that way, and we get to bounce it off each other, which is always interesting. Sometimes people look at you like, really? That's what you think is great. And, maybe that's the reason it'll get ditched, or, you can try and persuade them that there's something good in it. So
we tuned to 440. No, it's look, we're really glad a lot of you guys really read into this stuff. And sometimes it's, we go, we're not wizards, we, yeah, we've kind of stayed in that range. We've done some tuning, like Justin and I kind of experiment with, dropping a couple strings here and there. And we do the pot live, and Maynard was having trouble with it. So we said, all right, why don't we go step down? Why don't we go the whole thing down to C? And it works really well, and it sounds completely evil. But as far as when we write, we just, we just come up with riffs and jam, and it's usually, something comes out of that. It's not pre-planned. Justin wrote this riff, and he was trying to just break it down. So the first part was in 9, the second part was in 8, and the last part was in 7. And then I think Dan was talking to this guy Ryan McClement, and he was just like, "Oh, that's the Fibonacci sequence," because that's how he thinks. The guy jumps out of planes and fights fires, and just, you have to be out there to do that. Anyway, a really smart guy. So we started kind of messing with that a little bit, and then when Maynard heard about it, he was like, "Oh, that's awesome!" So he wrote his lyrics as the Fibonacci starts.
Yeah, we've got tons of stuff. Over the last, I don't know how many years, we've recorded almost every show.
So we do a new song live. We've done it 20 times on the road. All the sites are like, "Oh, a new song." It's like, no, it's been out. But anyway, Justin said it best. It's like a kind of a vague best of, or just that movie you really want to see, you know, like when the new Star Wars movie comes out and the first trailer is really, you're like, what? That's what you're gonna be doing when you hear this. It's in 7, if you want to count it. A lot of the songs on the new record are in 7. It's pretty incredible. If you don't know how to count it in 7, don't worry.
Well, first of all, we kind of quarrel about it to start with because we hear the downbeat in completely different places. You know, when we wrote the part, it was Danny heard it completely differently. You know, where the pressure is on the downbeat, and so we have to. That's always interesting, you know, because when he starts playing it the way he hears it, it changes the feel of the riff. So we kind of there's always a couple of options after, you know, you have one riff and now you have like 4 options on that riff. So it's just a matter of, you know, spending 5 years just umming and ahhing about it, you know, and you know, playing it in your car and seeing what really moves you. I can't remember the rest of your question, but
yeah, for me, I just try to be true to the riffs these guys come up with. I don't worry about anything being marketable. That's for sure. And I just try to be musical. And I think if your beats are hit finely and precisely, and it's okay if it lilts over the top, and I think that's what makes people dance as much as anything. Just a feeling like that, rather than a 2-4 backbeat or something. I kind of try to shy away from that if possible to make it more interesting. And it's fun to watch people try to dance in 21 or 17.
Apples and oranges. And we just want the whole basket, seriously. The apples would be digital, the oranges would be analog. And so what we do is we record a tape and we bounce that warm analog sound to digital and mix it up. It's funny, like, you can't find tape anymore. So when we heard that some of these companies were going to stop selling tape, we bought up stacks and stacks and stacks of it and have it like in an air. We built this storage container, and it's all, what's that called? Hermetically, not sealed, but climate controlled. Thank you, sir. He probably knows all about that. Yeah, so, you know, we just, you know, we want to take it as far as we can take it. Just not bringing riffs, and dance taught us so much about, you know, rhythm and polyrhythmic stuff, and we'll get into that too. That we bring our own riffs in, and dance just playing the most opposite thing to it. We were like forgetting how to play the riff we wrote. You know, and you go, Danny, please. And that happens all the time where he'll go, oh, I don't hear the downbeat there. I hear it there on 5 instead of on 1. And you go, no. And then after a while, you're like, oh my God, that's great. 2 people like really spelled it out for me. And I had that kind of same thing. I mean, just we've always tried to remember why we started and where we're at when we started. And we all had day jobs and we weren't trying to get signed. When we got a record deal, we laughed, you know, because it was just, you know, it's that time. It was, you know, just the end of hair metal. And but the hair metal people didn't know it. And so, but anyway, just, you know, yeah. I like that music, but anyway, all I want to tell you is Buzz Osborne from the Melvins told me, write with your heart, not your head. And he's right. You just really have to believe in what you're doing. And then Robert Fripp told me that it's about attitude. Like, it doesn't matter how good your guitar is, doesn't matter how good your cables are, or what pedals you're using, or the picks, or you got these strings from Japan, or anything like that. You can have all that stuff and it can be amazing. And Jimi Hendrix can pick up the shittiest guitar and bury anybody. So it's attitude. You know, I say it every time, but you know, when I was a kid, you know, they go, oh, Rush, that's the music I kind of woke up to. 2112. Yeah. And, you know, Neil Peart, best drummer in the world. But now I'm in the band with the best drummer in the world. You know, I'm not kidding.